From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your Friday night. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, today, again, difficult news in Montana's fight against coronavirus. The state sets another record for a single day with 127 confirmed cases, as health authorities also report 3 more deaths, 2 of them at a local long-term care facility here in Billings. Well, today's report marks the 5th death this week at Canyon Creek Memory Care in West Billings. And tonight we've learned another 19 people associated with the facility have tested positive with coronavirus. The 2 residents died last night, a man in his 80s and a man in his 90s. Another man and 2 women died earlier this week. Well, late this afternoon, Riverstone Health announced another 10 residents and 9 staff members are confirmed positive at Canyon Creek. This brings the total number of people associated with the Canyon Creek outbreak to 91. That's 36 employees and 55 residents. In addition to the 5 deaths since Monday, there are currently 4 Canyon Creek residents in local hospitals. Now, this outbreak has created a critical staffing need as many of the Canyon Creek employees are now in quarantine. Already, the medical community and the state are stepping up. The state's disaster and emergency services team has been deployed. Tonight at 7 p.m., 6 National Guard members will be on site at Canyon Creek to support and fill in gaps. Billings Clinic will also fill in with nurses, CNAs, respiratory therapists, pharmacists, and a memory care specialist. Riverstone Health will continue to trace contacts connected to the 91 confirmed positive cases.
What our initial goal is as an organization is to step up and try to provide additional staffing for the next 72 hours. And so that is the plan from a Billings Clinic perspective. We'll be reaching out to our staff as well as other staff that are in the area and across the state that may be able to help as this goes longer and we need additional help. Canyon Creek is also flying in folks to help with their needs as well.
Again, Riverstone Health employees are stretched thin as they continue to trace contacts tied to that 91 positive cases. Now, the 19 new positives were part of today's 127 record-breaking confirmed cases across Montana. Tonight, the active cases across the state have reached 667. 29 people have died and at least 24 people are hospitalized. 4 of those individuals are Canyon Creek residents. Now, free COVID-19 testing sites are up and running all across the region this weekend. Tomorrow in Billings, anyone can be tested, whether you are showing symptoms or not. That's Saturday at Metro Park from 9 a.m. until noon here in Billings. In Park County, there are 2 locations with free testing on Sunday. Both the Gardner High School parking lot and the Park High School parking lot. Both locations are open from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. And check with your local county health department for more testing opportunities. Now turning to Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire, Friday has finally arrived. How's the weekend looking for us?
Well, it started off kind of weird this morning. Of course, let me show you on the Doppler radar. We had this long squall line. We knew it was going to come into Montana, and it looked like the computer model said the stuff was going to kind of do an end run around the Billings area. But what happened, it became a little bit longer than normal, and this stuff just pushed right on into the Billings area. And so that's what we had some sprinkles earlier this morning, but then it just kind of moved in and moved out pretty quick. And so now the thing's just about out of the state right now. So here's what we have in store for us tonight. Look at that, just mostly clear skies, maybe a little breezy, but 56 degrees for the overnight low tonight. Then for tomorrow, back up to 89 degrees and mostly sunny skies. On Saturday, sunny and it's going to get hot, up to about 95 degrees. But then after that, things start to cool down a little bit as we head into next week, and we'll talk more about that coming up in a few more minutes. Jeanelle?
All right, thanks so much, Bob. Well, 3 months after the income tax filing deadline was pushed back due to COVID-19, we are approaching the new deadline of Wednesday, July 15th. Well, MTN's Jonathan Ambarian talked with the State Department of Revenue, and finds out even with the extra time, Montanans are still procrastinating.
When the federal government decided in March to delay the April 15th deadline for filing income tax returns, Montana Department of Revenue leaders say they essentially had to do the same, since the 2 returns are so closely linked.
I think a lot of people appreciated that break just to not have to worry about that one thing until later.
Now we are days away from the updated filing deadline. Sanjay Talwani with the Department of Revenue estimates 10,000 to 20,000 Montanans still haven't submitted their returns. He says that's about the same number of last-minute filers they'd expect to see in other years.
There's still a bunch of people out there who haven't done it for whatever, and a lot of those people are due refunds, and for various reasons they just haven't gotten to it yet.
The COVID-19 pandemic meant some changes in how the department processes returns. They delayed hiring temporary staff 3 months to fit the new filing period. They also had to reorganize the processing teams, having some employees work from home and allowing for more distancing. Talwani says they saw a temporary delay in processing paper returns, but they've actually gotten refunds out quicker than previous years for electronic returns.
We always encourage people to file electronically. It's always faster, safer, more secure, and you'll get your refund more quickly. That turned out to be especially true this year.
With many Montanans facing difficult circumstances this year, Revenue is encouraging those having trouble paying to contact them about payment plans. The department is also giving some leeway for people already on plans.
We're always willing to work with people, but it's important that they come to us. Don't just not file or don't file falsely.
In Helena, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
Thanks, Jonathan. And the Department of Revenue has introduced a new online filing option this year. It's called MT Quick File. Now, it's open to people filing simple returns. Now, that means they were full-time Montana residents and are taking the standard deduction and are not claiming tax credits. Well, good news tonight for visitors planning a trip to Yellowstone National Park. The company that operates lodging inside the park is now opening hotel rooms that until now were closed due to COVID-19. MTN's John Shearer reports on why the Park Service is giving the move a thumbs up.
Opening hotel units like these here at Canyon is something of a calculated risk. After all, COVID cases are on the rise around the country and in Montana and Wyoming.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all are concerned when we see spikes, but I think it's important we don't overreact.
We've also been frequently testing our employee population. Every week we have about 160 employees within Yellowstone tested for COVID-19, and today we've had 0 positive tests come back.
A limited number of rooms are now open at the Lake Hotel. The same is true at the Canyon Lodge and the Old Faithful Snow Lodge. Premium rooms will open at the newly refurbished Mammoth Springs Hotel and in the east wing of the historic Old Faithful Inn. All of that is later this month.
We feel like this is a logical next step. It doesn't commit us too far. We're not wide open, like I said. We still have a lot of facilities closed in the park.
That includes all restaurants. Food service is just grab and go. Some visitor centers remain closed, and only some retail stores are open. Plus, the hotel rooms are different.
So we're eliminating a lot of, common touch surfaces, so things like coffee makers and coffee pots we've taken out of the rooms. We'll have coffee available elsewhere. We have a process where we're rotating blankets out on a daily basis and processing for cleaning, and pillows, the same kind of a situation. So and that heightened a step of kind of cleaning and sanitation.
With an eye on businesses like the Lake Hotel here and local businesses which depend on the park, Keller and Scholey clearly do not want to backtrack on the opening. But both say they will do so if it's necessary.
But we do have plans with the counties and the states and with our business partners if things, start to make a left turn to pull back on operations.
But that's not what's happening now.
As of this moment, it does not appear that any of the spikes that we've seen here in the last couple of weeks have been necessarily attributed to increased visitation coming into Yellowstone.
And so the gamble here at Old Faithful and throughout the park is that people will be careful and take advantage of Yellowstone's vast spaces to spread out a bit. Plus, listen to the guidelines, such as maintaining distance and wearing a mask. In Yellowstone, John Shearer, MTN News.
All right, thanks, John. And John tells us the park is seeing about the same number of vehicles entering right now as it was at this time last year. Now, Scholey says he thinks there are still fewer people in the park and that the traffic number is high because more people are staying outside the park and driving through the gates every day. Well, just another fun sloth update for you. The 15-month-old male two-toed sloth who is slowly making his way to Zoo Montana posted another cute photo today. Here is our future neighbor taking a bite out of a sweet potato. Well, sloths typically eat leaves, shoots, and fruit, and they don't mind eating upside down, as you can see. As we reported a few days ago, this little guy is still looking for a name, so if you think you have a good one, send suggestions through social media. You can get more information by logging on to ktvq.com. Well, up next on tonight's Q2 530 News, we take you out live to this year's Relay for Life of Yellowstone County event. This year, like everything else, is a little bit different. Tonight, instead of on the track, it's a sea of purple on the streets.